What is happening, guys? Welcome back to another reaction. Sunmi has returned. Now, I have watched, I believe it was like a very short teaser trailer where she is basically blonde. The concept looks pretty freaking cool, mature, very rock and roll-ish from what I remember. Very excited about this one. It's been a minute since we checked her out, and the last time we checked her out, the concept was definitely different than what is within this one. So without further ado, Blue by Sunmi. Let's get into it. What would you do if your boyfriend became a cockroach? Doesn't the girlfriend usually ask that? What would you do if I became a cockroach, or if I became like a snail or some other stuff like that? Hi. Okay. That's pretty cool. This feels like a Wes Anderson movie. That's cannibalism though, no? No? Aw, that is adorable. Oh, I guess that would look a little interesting. Oh.
Can you hurry up, because time doesn't wait. 눈이 부시도록, baby. Let's not like this till tomorrow. You're my boo, just like the sky. 널 바라볼 때.
This is... Man, her vocals are so silky smooth though. Ooh. You're still my boo. Holy damn. Yo, there's another minute. Oh. Is this gonna turn dark or something? Oh. Oh. Yeah. Kind of turned dark. That is the most creative credit scene I've ever seen. Oh my god. that was that went dark. This was an absolute trip of a music video. The song itself is gorgeous. It's light, but it's depressing at the same time. Like there's definitely a feeling of like impending like melancholy or something like that. Especially paired with the visuals. Because honestly, once Sunmi realized that someone was walking into that washing machine's room and she had to cover her boyfriend cockroach, you kind of like I felt like something might go wrong in a way. And then the ending of like the cockroaches reveal, and then one of the cockroaches has like a literal sky on his wings and whatnot. I guess that kind of like in a way represents. Honestly, at first I thought it might represent them as a couple, because she was with them all this time. So in reality, the twist was that she herself was a cockroach in a way. But it is interesting, especially the feeling of blue, like which there's some positive feelings or positive symbolisms behind the color blue, but there's also some not so positive, as they could represent calmness, they could represent happiness in a way, but they also can represent sadness and depression in other ways. The cockroach itself is kind of interesting in its metaphor because it the cockroach itself symbolizes like resilience in a way. If we look at Google, for example, we can find that the symbolism revolves primarily around their remarkable resilience, representing survival, persistence, and even the ability to withstand a nuclear war. There's also an unconscious and hidden things within the symbolism of a cockroach, and that is their ability to live unseen in the dark. Hidden places can represent the unconscious parts of the psyche, blind spots, or shadow self that need to be acknowledged or integrated. Unseen problems is also a symbolism. A cockroach appearing in the home can be a spiritual message to examine and clean up hidden clutter or problems in one's life. Cockroaches actually even represent inner strength. Seeing multiple cockroaches or a nest can signify the strength, courage, and resilience needed for a new beginning. As far as the color blue symbolism, let me make sure. It symbolizes calmness, trust, stability, loyalty, and wisdom. In other instances, it can also represent depression and coldness. It is commonly associated with the sky and sea and evokes a feeling and a sense of serenity and infinity, making it a color linked to inspiration and spiritual connection. You definitely feel that, and I'm pretty sure that she even references the sky in the actual lyrics with Sunmi, but also the actual cockroach at the end has like this sky pattern on its wings. So the ending of the music video definitely makes me feel as if like that was him and Sunmi all along, and she was kind of like a cockroach all this time. But at the same time, if we kind of like don't look at that necessarily, and like the the death of them as the dude is spraying like that poison on them to kill them because he doesn't understand that he fears it in a way. So what you and I see as something that can be good, for example, if your boyfriend turned into a cockroach, in Sunmi's case, she will still love him, support him, and whatever else. She would do the best. Whereas in another person's perception, if that person were to become a cockroach, they would kill it as if it's insignificant. It's kind of interesting, like, to the world who will kill you if you turn into that cockroach, to me, you will always be someone that I hold dearly. So even if you became a cockroach, I will still love you, but I will have to also protect you, as she covers him in the washing machine room, which I thought was kind of like a cool touch, because if anyone were to walk in and suddenly there's like a human-sized cockroach in there, it's probably not gonna be sunshine and rainbows. So she has to be conscious. And it's like, I will still love you despite the obstacles that you becoming a cockroach will create. I feel like this song really dives into like the cool meaning that I feel like some of the memes and like the challenges or whatever you want to call it of like girlfriends asking on TikTok, would you still love me if I was a fish, a cockroach, a snail, whatever the fuck. This music video is kind of like the answer that the girl wishes that the guy would give, or like the vibe that he would give, that he doesn't care what you would become, he will still hold you dearly. But I feel like the melancholy aspect comes from the fact that, yes, I will still love you, despite how insanely hard and almost impossible it would be for us to exist together. I will still be there with you. I will go down to the garbage cans with you. I will go down to all these nasty places where you thrive in, and I don't necessarily belong, but I would still make it work. That's kind of like what the feeling that I get as she's literally surrounded by garbage. And then you have like this effect of like, you know, fireflies or something, like all the particles that are flying around to represent like some light, almost like a shining warm light that even in the coldest of spaces, as long as I'm with you, I I will be okay, no matter how hard it might be. That's kind of like the vibe that I'm getting. And this is the scene where she's painting that sky on him. And in the end, the dead cockroach, he's one of them, right? That's the one. Like, that's really, really tragic on one hand. Like, this definitely is an incredibly, like, unique concept. And, you know, whenever they're on the street together, like nobody's watching them even. Like the dude on the guitar doesn't even focus on what's going on around him. And in the other places, they're basically all by themselves, except for the washing machine rooms where somebody comes in and then she covers him with the same blanket that he is being covered. His wings are covered at the end as he is dead. Damn. So it's like Sunmi is willing to become a cockroach as long as we can become together, can be together. And that's why in the end they both kind of like die, because this person who sprays the poison doesn't understand them and the love that they have because they're cockroaches. I feel like maybe I'm taking it a little bit, too deep, but at the same time I definitely feel like there's some depth in this music video. It's very poetic, it's very wholesome, it's very sad. And in terms of like relationships and love in general, willing to make sacrifices and almost like put yourself on the back burner for someone else that you love. Almost like I'm willing to kill myself to be with you, or kill parts of me to be with you because I care more about you, something along those lines. This was an incredible music video aesthetically. Like these visuals, Sunmi looks insane. She looks sensational. At times she actually reminds me of this one, Atomic Blonde. She's definitely an Atomic Blonde in this one. It was incredible. Like all the locations are so fitting, not just for a human, but for a fucking cockroach as well. Even the washing machine room, as you suddenly see, in an apartment that is usually cluttered, but also not always. You see like randomly there's like a cockroach, or like in all these places, and a cockroach would scare most people and they would start fucking chasing it or try to kill it or run away from it. So she cherishes him and protects him because she knows that other people wouldn't accept him. But if he had to turn into a cockroach, she would take care of him, even if she were to die in the end, which is basically what happens at the end of the music video, which is kind of sad. But then we go into like this credit scene, which is probably one of the most creative ones. This is fucking diabolical. So kudos to Sunmi. The vocals are like, they're not overpowering. There's like this not husky. There's like this silky, smooth vibe to her vocals in this one. It almost feels like she's singing you to sleep or something like that. Like, it's absolutely beautiful. It's heartwarming, and at the same time, the music video is definitely very melancholic as well. So if that made any sense, let me know in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like it, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Thank you so much for Sunmi for creating another very unique concept. Definitely have no idea how one would come up with it, but I definitely appreciate that a concept like this exists, and especially with how intimate it feels. So she did an absolutely phenomenal job, and everyone else involved, of course, did a spectacular job of making that concept come to life. Thank you so much for watching. Be well and safe wherever you are. See ya.